citizens of India, we proudly enjoy a range of rights granted by our Constitution. But with these rights come responsibilities, our fundamental duties that guide us in shaping a just and united nation. These duties are not mere words in a book. They are a moral compass, reminding every Indian of the role we must play in building a better society. From respecting our national symbols to protecting public property, from promoting harmony to preserving our rich heritage, these duties reflect the values that lie at the heart of our democracy. When the Constitution of India was adopted in 1950, it guaranteed fundamental rights, but it did not mention fundamental duties. Back then, the focus was on ensuring justice, liberty, and equality in a newly independent nation. But over time, it became clear citizens too had a role to play. To balance rights with responsibilities, fundamental duties were later added, reminding every citizen of their duty to uphold the nation's ideals, contribute to society, and stand by fellow citizens. In 1976, a landmark change was made to the Indian Constitution. Fundamental duties were introduced for the very first time through the 42nd Constitutional Amendment. To guide this process, the then Government of India appointed Sardar Swarn Singh Committee, tasked with recommending how these duties could be integrated into the Constitution. The committee observed that in addition to the enjoyment of rights, the citizens should also perform certain duties. It recommended the addition of a new chapter in the Constitution, listing 8 fundamental duties for Indian citizens. The central government accepted this proposal and went a step further. Through the 42nd Amendment, a new section Part 4A was added to the Constitution. This section consists of a single article, Article 51A, which lays down 10 fundamental duties, not just 8 as initially recommended. While these duties were partially inspired by the Constitution of the former USSR, their spirit is deeply rooted in India's culture, heritage, and timeless values. The concept of dharma or duty has always held a place of deep significance. In ancient India, performing one's duty was seen as a core virtue, a reflection of character. Our spiritual texts, like the Bhagavad Gita and the Ramayana, have long taught us that duty comes before entitlement. Rights and duties are two sides of the same coin. For every right we claim, there is a duty we must fulfill. When duties are performed sincerely, rights follow naturally. Mahatma Gandhi echoed this timeless idea when he said, "The true source of rights is duty. If we all discharge our duties, rights will not be far to seek." Highlighting the importance of fundamental duties, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar has often said that rights and duties together shape responsible citizenship. It's time we honor our duties, protect our sovereignty, uphold unity, and put the nation first.
Time for us to fully commit to our fundamental duties, protecting national sovereignty, fostering unity, prioritizing national interests, and safeguarding our environment. We must always put our nation first. We need to be on guard as never before. These commitments are crucial for achieving our vision of Viksit Bharat at 2047, a nation that exemplifies progress and inclusion.
Originally, the Constitution listed 10 fundamental duties, but in 2002, the 86th Amendment added an 11th, making it the duty of parents and guardians to ensure education for children aged 6 to 14. These responsibilities serve as a moral code for every Indian citizen. They are as follows. It shall be the duty of every citizen of India to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem, to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India, to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so, to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, transcending religious, linguistic and regional or sectional diversities, to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture, to protect and improve the natural environment including forests, lakes, rivers and wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures, to develop the scientific temper, humanism and the spirit of inquiry and reform, to safeguard public property and to abjure violence, to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity so that the nation constantly rises to higher levels of endeavor and achievement, and who is a parent or guardian to provide opportunities for education to his child or, as the case may be, born between the age of 6 and 14 years. The 86th Constitutional Amendment Act of 2002 is especially significant for its dual focus. It introduced Article 21A, granting children aged 6 to 14 the fundamental right to free and compulsory education. At the same time, it added Article 51AK, making it the duty of every parent or guardian to ensure that this education is provided. The education-related fundamental duty was introduced to complement the right to education, placing emphasis on parental responsibility. While the RTE Act made education a legal right for children, this fundamental duty created a moral and legal obligation for parents and guardians to ensure their children receive it. Recognizing that education is the foundation of social and economic progress, this duty encourages citizens to actively contribute to nation building by empowering the next generation. By making it a duty to educate children, the law also supports enrollment, retention and access to quality education, ensuring no child is left behind. The inclusion of education as a fundamental duty made a national impact, raising awareness about the rights and responsibilities tied to children's education. It played a key role in boosting school enrollment and reducing dropout rates, especially in marginalized and rural communities. There is no specific way to enforce these duties, and there are few legal penalties for violating them. However, these duties are important for several reasons. The fundamental duties encompass both moral and civic obligations. They include responsibilities such as cherishing the noble ideals of the freedom struggle, under Article 51AB, a moral duty and respecting the Constitution, national flag and national anthem under Article 51A, a civic duty. The fundamental duties are derived from values deeply embedded in Indian tradition, mythology, religions and practices. For example, the duty to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women has been rooted in the Indian tradition for ages. Unlike certain fundamental rights that extend to all individuals, including foreigners, the fundamental duties are specially applicable to Indian citizens. Similar to the directive principles of state policy, the fundamental duties are not justiciable. Though fundamental duties are not legally enforceable by rights, they play a crucial role in shaping constitutional values. In 1992, the Supreme Court ruled that in determining the constitutionality of any law, if a court finds that the law in question seeks to give effect to a fundamental duty, it may consider such law to be reasonable in relation to Article 14, Equality before law, or Article 19, 6 freedoms, and thus save such law from unconstitutionality. The Supreme Court's Ranganath Mishra judgment 2003 held that fundamental duties should not only be enforced by legal sanctions but also by social sanctions. In AIMS Students Union versus AIMS 2001, the court emphasized that fundamental duties are as important as fundamental rights. Though fundamental duties are not enforceable like fundamental rights, they cannot be overlooked as duties in Part 4A. They are prefixed by the same word fundamental, which are prefixed by the founding fathers of the Constitution to right in Part 3. Few countries in the world have such an elaborate list of fundamental duties in their constitution, but many nations prescribe defense of the country as a national duty. For example, Article 109 of the Norwegian Constitution stipulates that as a general rule, every citizen of the state is equally bound to serve in the defense of the country for a specific period, irrespective of birth or fortune. Under Article 81 of the Constitution of Denmark, every male person able to bear arms shall be liable with his person to contribute to the defense of his country. In fact, the foundations of the French Republic rested not only on the rights of man but also duties. Though not legally enforceable, fundamental duties are vital in a democracy. They remind citizens of their responsibilities alongside their rights. The term fundamental reflects their deep significance as keys to social transformation and active citizenship. Upholding the Constitution is in just the government's role. It's every citizen's duty.